The prayojanam, the benefit is this. They say it, they put it in this way, Atyantika dukkha nivritti paramananda praptischa. Complete transcendence of suffering and attainment of ultimate bliss, a permanent bliss and ultimate bliss. Dukkha nivritti ananda praptischa. This is the goal. You may say that this is the goal of human life anyway. What we are trying to do in life is to overcome suffering and attain happiness and joy. And that in fact is the goal of the Upanishads. Many of these Upanishads are in the form of dialogues. It reminds you of the Socratic dialogues. In the Mandukya Upanishad, for example, you find the Shishya, the disciple, approaches the teacher. Shaunako havai mahashala angirasam vidivat prasanna papracha. Shaunaka. These names are, even today we use these names. Shaunaka is a well-known Bengali name. And you can trace it back to the Upanishads. The Shaunaka is a disciple who comes to the Rishi Angiras and he asks a question. This is the central question of the Upanishads. This is the central theme, the line of inquiry taken in the Upanishads. What is the question? Kaspenno bhagavo vidyate sarvamidam vidyatam bhavati. Sir, what is it that knowing which we know everything? What is it by knowing which everything in the universe is known? What is that one vidya by knowing which all vidyas are known? We find the same question in different Upanishads. In the Mandukya Upanishad, where Shvetaketu comes back after graduating from studies, comes back home, his father asks him, have they taught you that vidya, knowing which all vidyas are known? Have they taught you that one thing by knowing which everything is known? So this is the line of inquiry. What is the answer? What is that by knowing which we can know everything? If I say that in a BA college, I don't know if it is still there, you're all good students, but I still remember 10 years, 15 years back, they would say there is one Ved. There is all the papers, you may not know that. This is Econo Chole. Your standard is much higher. Your standard is much higher now. What used to happen earlier was there was this very big, thick book with all possible questions and all possible answers. So the idea was to read that one book, then you can answer all questions. That is not true, but that was the idea. By knowing one thing, I can know all papers. This is very nice. So that was the question asked by Shaunaka, or asked by the Rishis sometimes in the Upanishad. What is that one thing by knowing which one can know everything? And the answer given by the Rishi in the Mandukya Upanishad, he does not give a direct answer. His approach is, the way of teaching. The pedagogical approach taken there is very interesting. Instead of giving a direct answer, you know this XYZ and you will know everything. Instead of saying that, he says, knowledge is of two kinds. First, understand this. You want to know something by which you can know everything, but first understand that knowledge is of two kinds. Dve vidye veditavye iti hasmayat brahma vido vadanti paraseva parasha. The Rishi said, knowledge is of two kinds. Two kinds of knowledge are to be acquired. What are these two kinds of knowledge? One, he says, is relative, apara, and the other one, transcendent, para. The relative knowledge and the transcendent knowledge. Now first, he gives a list, a syllabus, a curriculum of all relative knowledge. What is relative knowledge? What is apara vidya? And the Rishi says, Tatra pararikveda yajurveda samaveda atharvaveda shiksha kalpa vyakaranam niruktam chando jyotishamiti. He gives a list. the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda, and the 6 Vedantas, Siksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Chando, Jyotisha, Nirukta. Today he would have said there is an entire syllabus of all the subjects in the university. A to Z, all knowledge is aparavidya. If all knowledge is aparavidya, what about the Vedas? Aparavidya. Upanishad, aparavidya. Then what is paravidya? If everything is aparavidya, then what remains? What is paravidya? And the Rishi says, parayaya tadaksharamanigamyate. Paravidya is that by which the akshara, the unchangeable spiritual reality, which the Rishi had called Purusham Mahantam, infinite being, that vidya by which you realize that infinite being, that akshara, that is called paravidya. And that is the subject of the Upanishads. The Upanishads themselves are apara, but they teach paravidya. They will enable the seeker to attain paravidya. So that is the central idea which you find in the Upanishads. In the Chandogya Upanishad, Shvetaketu, the disciple, he had a doubt, and we should all have this doubt. Is there any knowledge by knowing which everything is known? How is that possible? Shvetaketu, the commentator Shankaracharya says, the doubt is this. By knowing one knowledge, we know the object of that knowledge. If I learn German, do I learn all languages? No. I learn only German. And that is just language. There are so many things other than language. There is science and art and so much. So how is it that by learning one thing, one can learn everything, one can know everything? How is it possible? The answer is this. The answer takes us to the Upanishadic idea of causality. Cause and effect. It's like this. How many things are there? How many pieces of furniture are there in this room? There are maybe 200 chairs and this lectern and the benches here and the entire stage. All of them. Maybe 200 or 250 pieces of furniture here. Now what is that one thing by knowing which you can know everything? Is there one thing? There are 250 things, but by knowing one thing you can understand everything. What is that one thing? The answer is, if you know the cause, you will know the effect. Technically, if you know the upadankara, the material cause, that out of which everything is manufactured, that which forms the essence of everything, if you understand that, you understand everything. What is that? It is, in this case, it is wood. If you know wood, if you understand what is wood, in that case, from wood drishti, from the point of view of wood, how many pieces of furniture, how many things are there, how many entities? You will say only one thing is there, wood. If you count the furniture, tables, chairs and benches and the stage, 200 or 300 pieces. If you count the material itself, only one thing, wood. So, by knowing the cause, one knows the effect. By understanding the cause, one understands the effects. The cause is one, the effects are many. And one of course can understand that this is a very particular view of causality. There may be different views of causality, but this is one way of understanding causality. By knowing the cause, one understands the effect. It is like, let me give you a very interesting example how the Upanishad proceeds. In the Chandogya Upanishad, you see the